Prom was supposed to be my moment. After years of fading into the background, of being the quiet one, the smart one, the sister who got hand-me-downs while Lacey, my older sister, got praise for existing, I had finally saved up for something of my own. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video. I worked weekends at a florist for nearly a year. Every bouquet I arranged, every thorn I clipped, went into a savings jar labeled prom night. I didn't want just any dress. I wanted a dress that would make me feel like I wasn't the afterthought anymore. I wanted to walk in that night and not be introduced as Lacey's sister. I wanted to be me. And for once, I found it. A deep emerald gown that shimmered with every step. It was off-shoulder, velvet soft, with delicate beading at the waist that caught the light like tiny stars. I had it hidden in a garment bag in the back of my closet, because if there's one thing Lacey couldn't stand, it was someone else shining. She had always been the one with the attention. Cheer captain, homecoming queen, Instagram famous for her makeup tutorials. And mom and dad, they fed into it. Every competition, every photo op, front row, big grins, balloons in hand. When I got into the honor society, a nod and a quick, nice job. So when I told them I was going to prom with someone, they barely looked up from their phones. Wait, someone actually asked you? Lacey scoffed across the kitchen table, twirling pasta like she was on a cooking show. Yes, I said, trying to hold on to some dignity. Michael. That made her pause. Her spoon clinked against the plate. Michael Ramirez, she said, eyebrows rising. The quarterback? I nodded. We've been lab partners all semester. He's sweet. Dad chuckled. Must be a dare. Mom snorted. Maybe he lost a bet. The laughter echoed through my chest like a slap. I swallowed hard and stood up. He asked because he wanted to, and I said yes. That night, I didn't cry. I unzipped the garment bag again just to look at the dress, just to remind myself that I had something beautiful, that maybe, just maybe, I'd have one memory that didn't belong to my sister. The week of prom, I had my nails done for the first time. I booked a $15 hair appointment with a student stylist at the community college. I was making it work, even without anyone's help. And then, the night before prom, it happened. I came home from school, excited to try on the full look for the first time. But when I opened the closet, the bag was gone. Panicked, I tore through everything. Every hanger, every drawer. Then I saw it. In the bathtub, soaked, shredded. Emerald velvet, ruined with bleach. I froze. The beading had melted into the fabric. The water was tinged with green and white foam. I stood there, breathless, as the bathroom door creaked open behind me. Lacey leaned against the frame, filing her nails. Oh, she said. You found it. What did you do? I asked, my voice hoarse. She shrugged. You're welcome. Honestly, it was ugly. Looked like something you'd buy from a thrift store. It wasn't yours to touch. It's always about you now, huh? She snapped, eyes flashing. Michael Prom, this whole I'm different now vibe. You're not special. You never were. I stormed past her, straight to the kitchen where Mom was scrolling through her tablet. She ruined my dress, I cried. Mom barely looked up. Maybe don't leave things where they can be messed with. It was in my closet. Stop being so dramatic, she said, sipping her coffee. It's not like you were going to be prom queen anyway. Dad just muttered, It's one night. Get over it. One night. But to me, it wasn't just a night. It was everything. I locked myself in my room, clutching the ruined dress like it was a piece of me. I felt stupid for ever believing I could have something for myself. I kept asking myself, why? Why did they all hate seeing me happy? And then I realized something. They didn't hate me. They feared what would happen if I stopped needing them, if I stopped being quiet. So that night I decided I wasn't going to cry again. I wasn't going to yell or scream or beg. I was going to let them laugh. Because the next day, when the music played and the lights hit the gym floor, it wouldn't be me standing in ruin. It would be them. The next morning, I woke up with swollen eyes and a steel spine. I didn't tell anyone I was still going to prom. Let them think they'd won. Let them think I'd crumble. But I had one person I could trust, Michael. I texted him around noon. I won't be wearing a dress, but I'll still meet you at 7, if that's okay. He replied instantly, wear whatever you want. I just want you there. That alone almost made me cry again, but I didn't. I had something else to do. First, I visited my friend Erin, who worked part-time at the local art supply store and had a side hustle designing custom clothing for theater students. I brought her the remains of the dress and said, can you help me turn this into something that says, I survived you? She smiled and said, girl, we're not just going to fix it. We're going to weaponize it. What we came up with wasn't a dress. It was a statement. By 6 p.m., I was wrapped in a sharp black suit jacket tailored to my frame with the emerald fabric from the destroyed gown sewn into the lapels, raw, torn edges exposed. I wore combat boots, no jewelry, no curls, just a slicked-back ponytail and a look in my eyes that said, you thought I'd break. When I walked into the gym with Michael beside me, the music didn't even register, but the silence did. Heads turned. Even the DJ paused. And across the room, I saw her, Lacey, in her designer gown, glittering, surrounded by a group of her friends who had suddenly gone quiet. She blinked at me like she'd seen a ghost. I didn't flinch. Michael held out his hand and asked, "Want to dance?" I nodded, and we did. I didn't need a crown. I didn't need their approval. But the best part? Prom photos were being live-streamed on the school's social page that our local paper followed. And someone, I didn't know who, uploaded a close-up shot of me with the caption, "Not all queens wear gowns. Some wear scars like armor." The next morning, it had over 10,000 likes. Lacey's photo? 143. The Monday after prom, things were different. People in the hallways nodded at me. A few even smiled. My teachers, the ones who used to confuse me with Lacey, started calling me by my full name and not Lacey's little sister. Even the school counselor, who'd once handed me brochures for background volunteer roles, asked if I'd be open to leading a senior women's empowerment panel. But Lacey? She looked like she was unraveling, and it wasn't just about prom anymore. You see, what she didn't know, what no one in my family knew, was that Michael wasn't just my lab partner. He was also the student rep for the principal's advisory board. And guess what had recently come to light? A scholarship application that Lacey submitted for a young entrepreneur contest. Problem was, the business model she presented, it was plagiarized, word for word, from a pitch I had made in a school competition a year earlier, one she laughed at and said, "Wouldn't even sell lemonade to a toddler." Michael had seen both. He connected the dots. And so, a quiet investigation had begun. By Friday, the announcement came over the loudspeaker. The Robinson Youth Innovation Grant for 2024 has been rescinded due to a violation of academic integrity. We thank the faculty and students who helped maintain the values of honesty and fairness in our school. Lacey was pulled from class. I heard later that she cried in the principal's office, yelling something about how I was ruining her life. I didn't even flinch. But my parents? That's when they finally noticed. They called me downstairs that night, faces tight. "You humiliated your sister," Dad snapped. "You've always been jealous," Mom added. "Jealous of what?" I asked. "Of someone who ruins everything she can't control? You're tearing this family apart." "No," I said quietly. "This family was cracked the moment you laughed when she destroyed my dress. I'm just no longer pretending it's okay." Then I stood up, walked out, and didn't look back. They didn't stop me. Because by then, even they knew. Whatever leash they thought they had on me, it had snapped. The final blow came 2 weeks later, at our school's end-of-year celebration banquet. Michael was presenting awards as part of the student council, and to everyone's surprise, especially mine, he called my name. Not for honor roll, not for perfect attendance, but for a new scholarship. One that he had created, using his own internship stipend and funding from a local startup he'd partnered with. a $5,000 academic grant titled The Phoenix Grant for the girl who rose from the ashes they burned. I stepped onto the stage in silence, blinking through tears I hadn't expected. He handed me the plaque, then leaned into the mic. "And yes," he said with a smirk, "this girl is my date from prom." The whole auditorium burst into cheers. Lacey didn't show up that night. My parents? They sat stiff in the back, watching the one daughter they ignored shine without their permission. But this time, no one cared if they clapped, because I had already stopped needing their applause. And funny enough, the scholarship came with a mentorship from the very same firm Lacey had dreamed of working with. Not only did I win my own night, I took the future they thought was meant for her. In the end, they tried to bury me in bleach, mockery, and silence. But all they did was water the roots of something stronger than they ever imagined. I was never the side character. I was the rewrite. And the girl they laughed at? She became unforgettable. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video.